too had a chance of happiness. That Mum's illness had disappeared with the rest of our progress. The darkness we left behind seemed to vanish in the light of those summer days. Nobody knew us. We could be free for the first time. We were about to make a new friend that would change our lives forever. Look at that, Sam. This must be the place they call the Red Witch Rock.
It's a stone. Let's go back there. I don't like it.
Who goes there? How dare you invade my dwelling?
I'm Sam Melbourne. These are my two brothers, Billy and Jack, and this is my sister Jane.
You have entered the Red Witch lands. You have access to your own. You must cross it. If you mean well, you'd be free to go. But if you hide evil within your heart, war, poison, and trap you forever. You dare cross.
Hey everybody, it's the coach. This is Madden Football on EA Sports. Up next, we'll see a man who's been in charge for more than a decade, Matthew Stafford and the Detroit Lions, as they take on Kirk Cousins and the Minnesota Vikings. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Coach, a very warm day outside by Minnesota standards, but then again, it is still summer. Either way, the AC is working just fine at U.S. Bank Stadium in the Twin Cities. The scene a short time ago, this crowd decked out in purple, and they were in full roar as their guys burst out of the locker room. We're ready for football, folks, as the Vikings get set to do battle with Matthew Stafford and the Detroit Lions. Hi again, everyone. Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. And, Charles, you look at this Vikings ball club. They come into this one knowing it's been a while since tasting victory. They've dropped 4 in a row.
Can they remember what it was like to win a game? In these types of situations, you're looking for someone to inspire you, and it doesn't have to be one of your best players either.
Meanwhile, for the Lions here, it's late in the year. We all know it. We've seen the calendar for these guys. Their bodies could probably use a break, but they have to push on.
And they're really not as worried about that as maybe we think. They know they've got the entire offseason to rest. All they care about is the game in front of them and finishing strong.
Three-quarters of the NFL season are complete. What lurks in our final month? We're underway in Week 14. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Vikings heading out, and it's Kirk Cousins at the helm in his second season in purple and white, 8th year overall. 30 touchdown passes for him a season ago. That's a career high as he aims to get the Vikings back into the postseason.
Here we go, D. All day. Defense all day.
Here's Dalvin Cook, 3rd year back from Florida State. And he'll hope that this is not a sign of what's in store as he has to fight just to get back to the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the game's first play. And it's 2nd down now. Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10.
Watch the screen. Watch the screen. Watch the screen.
From the shotgun, it's Cousins. Over the middle, and it's incomplete. He was looking for Adam Thielen there. But now it'll be 3rd down. A look now at the starters on the defensive side for the Lions. They put together a strong effort last week in the win over the Bears, CD.
One thing you always look for when you're evaluating a defense, how opportunistic are they? How many takeaways do they get? How about last week's game? The number was 6. Phenomenal performance.
So now an early 3rd and 10 here on their opening drive. Cousins to throw it. And that is intercepted by the Pro Bowl corner Darius Slay. And they take possession 2 yards away from midfield at the 48-yard line. Really nice pick there for the reigning NFC Defensive Player of the Week. And a good story on that. He said he didn't even know he won the award. His buddy had to call him. He saw it on television and said, hey, congratulations. How about that?
And I'll bet you his buddy said, well, since you didn't know, I'll just go ahead and claim the award, right? And everything that goes along with it. But the reason he won the award the previous week and what we just saw there, instincts, understanding where the play is going and being able to make a play on the football. Outside handoff to the right side. If you're a running back, you love getting the ball early so you have vision to see what's happening in front of you.
Right tackle likes that call. Big play for him. But don't forget about the guys you always tell me on the backside sealing off.
Well, they talk about cutoff blocks, making sure no one can leak from the backside that can run a play down.
Yeah, nobody leaked. Big play. They only got a yard out of that last completion, and that makes this 2nd and 9. On the toss, here's Johnson.
Javon.
Hello? Hi, Grandma. I slept a couple times. Mhm. Mhm.
We started
I was
hiding from the
playing on my phone.
until I turned 21.
Goodbye. Playing Fortnite. Okay, Mom said hi. Hi, Grandma. Okay. Bye-bye. Love you too. Bye, Grandma. No bagel.
Ain't no more bagels.
Okay.
We gotta figure out what we gonna eat. Might just end up giving y'all waffles or something. Matter of fact, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
A very fortunate thing around last week again. We'll be done with him soon enough.
Come Christmas time, it's gonna be different. We'll see, Billy.
What's that?
I heard a noise on the mirror, and the cover is pulling off. I think I heard something. Chris might be able to see us again.
Stop being such a baby.
You don't need to be scared. Sam, the ghost has been gone for months.
See, I started making a noise about it. You know, big rat. Sam, stop feeding it. It's making holes all over the house.
Do you have to stop?
You know the way that thing has been, right? You could get rabies.
He won't fight me. He's my friend.
A terrible thing, rabies. Get foam coming out your mouth until your insides are all rotten. I have to spend my last bullet on you.
Then I'll hide behind the mirror and scream and cry all night and you never sleep again.
Yeah, but the dead don't cry or scream.
Tell me that next time you hear the ghost in the mirror.
So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
Following the penalty, it's Johnson. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a third down. Run coverage excellent there from the defensive end position.
How many times do we sit with coaches and they talk about a base defensive end, a guy who can anchor and play with leverage? We just saw a great example of it. And how about the bonus, tackling the runner for a loss?
Third and long, it's Stafford. That'll be taken in there by Kenny Golladay. And he coughed it up. And the defense not able to get it. From a defensive perspective, what's that moment like when you realize the ball is loose?
It is a moment where all concentration goes right to the football. This is something you've talked about in all your preparation for the game. And you probably talked about since training camp. Knock the ball free, take it away from the other team, and now you have that chance. It's a little bit of deflation when they end up recovering it.
They knocked it free, but couldn't take it away. Now it's Martin to do the honors after the made field goal. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Kirk Cousins and the Vikings offense back on the field. And he comes out on the heels of an interception he threw last time they had the ball.
Yeah, and you know, the quarterbacks that I know that are the best ones, the ones that really know how to lead their team, they tell them, that's on me. That's my bad. Well, let's go back out there and move ahead again, guys. We can get this done.
One good thing for him, it did only lead to 3 points and not a touchdown after that turnover.
Big thanks to the defense.
The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. Cousins. Josh Doxson's got it complete. And it's a fumble. And this is scooped up by the Lions. And he will score. Touchdown, Lions.
Give me the ball every time, fellas. I'm going to score.
The pass receiver turned into a runner, then he turned into a fumbler, and it goes the other way for 6.
I love your description. Although for the offense, they're not too happy about it. But for the defense, what a big-time play for them. Never give up on anything. Sometimes you create your own points.
But the receiver, hard to fault him. He's just going for extra yard.
That's exactly what you're supposed to do, but you have to take care of the football.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. We got it. We got it.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And job one here, Charles, just keep possession of the football. 2 drives, 2 turnovers to this point.
You're exactly right, Doctor. Hippocratic oath, first do no harm. And right now they're harming themselves on offense.
I like that. No one is mistaking me for a doctor, though. But thank you, Dr. Davis. Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete. And this passing game's whole offense really didn't show up in the loss last week, and it hasn't started all that great here either.
Yeah, and they can't let that incompletion become an uh-oh moment. Like, oh boy, here we go again, just like last week. Each game is its own entity, treat it as such.
The Lions offense heading out as we give you a look at the playoff race coming into the weekend in the NFC. As of this moment, as pretty much everyone knows, they sit alone in that top spot, but nothing is guaranteed. They haven't even clinched the playoffs, so a good start, but a long way to go.
And you know, a blunt veteran inside their locker room has stood up at one point or another and said, you know all this means nothing so far. We've got to cover this, get it done. What do we want to be? It's like winning a title in August, right, in preseason. Doesn't count. Let's go ahead and get this thing done.
So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. They'll run it with Johnson. Past the 20. And he takes this one in for a Lions touchdown. Ty Johnson, his 9th touchdown of the season. And the Lions are able to extend their lead. And on that long run, maybe the defense caught napping a little bit.
The concentration level may not have been there. I agree with you on that one, because those types of plays, when they result like that, they're almost like big bolts of lightning, aren't they? Whoosh, and off he goes.
Extra point good by Prater, and the lead grows to 10-0. It only took him 2 plays there to find the end zone. The last one, the long run, getting him in for 6 points. Here's Martin now following the score as he'll send this one away. This is taken just shy of the 10 here. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line.
Here we go.
The Vikings offense making their way back out. Now let's give you a look at the playoff picture coming into the weekend in the NFC. And I tell you, 4 weeks still to go, and everything is wide open, and it's fun.
And I know we always talk about, well, if the playoffs were to begin today, and then we kind of go, okay, but they're not. Let's see how it plays out. Wouldn't it be fun to play with this playoff lineup right now? Because to me, just about anyone can win this whole thing out of this grouping we currently have. And by the time we get there, it may look entirely different.
Officially, it will go as a 1-yard loss, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down. Plays like we just saw there, that's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out, because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game, and that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage. Yeah, good game catching the ball at the backfield a week ago, and they're going to try and involve him in that way in this game as well. But you can tell scouting is taking over. They're making it a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, defensively, they told us, hey, we've got to take him out of the passing game, limit it to just short runs, because he can really impact this offense. Here's the Detroit offense now as they head back out onto the field. They're looking sharp, out early to a 10-zip lead and looking for more as they've got it 1st and 10. Stafford on 1st down. Looking downfield for Jones. Well, this is taken in. It's complete. And oh, so close as he takes it all the way to the 2-yard line. A big play there for Detroit. 75 yards. Well, a big play like that looks familiar, doesn't it? Like we saw a week ago, reigning NFC Offensive Player of the Week.
Nothing wrong with being explosive. Nothing wrong with being electric. Nothing wrong with carrying it over. From the previous week, off to a really, really hot start.
That's going to go as a loss of 7, and it'll set them back for 2nd down. Now from the 9, here's 2nd and goal. They stay on the ground. This time it's Johnson. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. Ty Johnson, his 10th touchdown of the season, 2nd of the game. And the Lions are able to extend their lead. And a pair of rushing touchdowns now for him in the 1st quarter.
And I'm liking what I'm seeing from him.
finished with that shit in the garbage. I mean, in the sink.
Big guys up front because they're winning the leverage game. How many times we talk about low man wins, right? Move the defensive front aside, create those gaps and holes. He's found his way through them for 2 touchdowns.
And after both of those touchdowns, he went right up to that O-line and hit each of them on the helmet. He recognizes
That's a smart man. You know what else he should do? If this continues, take them all to dinner.
So after the touchdown, Martin now on to kick this one away. This is taken just shy of the 10 here. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. And last drive, 3 and out. Still a goose egg on the scoreboard. How do they break that goose egg?
They've got to find a way to get the ball in the hands of their playmakers, get them some space, and try and make a first down and get some momentum going. It's been a struggle for them throughout the game, and that 3 and out on the last possession, that told you just how stalled they are on offense.
So who will step up here? We'll see. A first down run, good for about 3. 2nd and 7 coming up. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial
rush coming, and he's taken down. The ex-Iowa Hawkeye Mike Daniels in for the sack.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Cousins, he's got his man. This is Jackson. And this effort will not get it done. He stopped well short of the first down at the 29. $17-0 our score after 1. Here's Britton Colquitt now as he's on to punt for Minnesota. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. Agnew now to return. Now it appears we're going to get whistles and a stop. A man down on the return. Well, he gets attended to. We'll step aside. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. They have to be pleased with the way that they've moved the football thus far.
And why wouldn't they be? 2 touchdowns on a field goal in their first 3 possessions. They're playing so well right now, the field goal probably feels like a disappointment.
Here's a throw right side taken in by his tight end. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
On 2nd down, Johnson. He's got a first down and then some inside the 40. And finally down at the 36-yard line. First down for the Lions on a nice pickup of 18 yards. Now on the heels of that run by Johnson, here's another 1st and 10. Off of play action, here's Stafford. And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee. So the contact came before the ball got there, and the flag is thrown.
Timing is everything, isn't it? And it's so hard to cover these great receivers. They have such great body control, and they can fake you out. In this case, as you described, got there before the ball got to the receiver. Penalty flag had to come out.
They stay on the ground on first with Johnson. And here he'll get it down to the 7. And give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. They run the counter now. It's Anderson. And he takes this one in for a Lions touchdown. C.J. Anderson, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Lions are able to extend their lead. And they drew up the counter there. It worked. They're glad they drew up the counter.
And a lot of times what you're trying to do is just simply get the defense moving in one direction. It doesn't take much. Even 1 step's enough. Get them going in one direction and then cut back against the grain and let your running back finish it off and get the work done.
Prater on to add the extra point. And the lead is now 24. So that drive, 4 plays. And it's C.J. Anderson who tops it off with the touchdown run. Here's Martin now following the score as he'll send this one away. This is taken just shy of the 10 here. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line.
Let's go! Let's go!
And as this offense makes their way back out, NFC playoff race time, we give you a look at what's going on there. Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10, just shy of the 30. They start the drive with Cook. And give him 6 yards here as he's stopped near the 35 at the 34.
Even though they gave up more than they wanted to on that play, it actually illustrates how well they bottled them up throughout the game because that was his longest run of this contest.
Now this one to his tight end out on the right side. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. First down, here's the run with Cook. And able to get a couple as he's across the 40 to the 41.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
It's complete to Diggs.
Well, that's what you're looking for when you want to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catches.
The 3rd down run gets them nothing.
Well, the stats that matter on this play don't help a team very much unless, of course, you're playing defense.
If you're getting points per reception, you got a reception, but no yardage. Great job by the defense, though. They read through that one.
They read through it, gave up no yardage, and people got credit for tackles. Pretty good deal.
Getting set to go again as we look at the back, heading onto the field again. The passing game, they've had more success there than the running game. Maybe something they game planned for.
How come they didn't tell us about it?
Because they wanted to keep it a secret.
We did ask, didn't we? But I think what happened in this one is they've realized that they've established the run pretty well, and teams are going to key on that. They thought they could open it up and have success through the air, and that's exactly what's going on.
Yeah, they've had success, at least so far here in the 2nd quarter. They'll fake the give. Now Stafford. Oh, nearly picked. And maybe lucky there. This guy doesn't drop many defensively. 3rd down. Well, he's been the guy already over 100 yards here in the first half. Could have had a lot more if he would have been able to haul that one in.
Yeah, in fact, our statistician Marvin was already handing me a piece of paper with that yardage totaled on it. He thought that catch was going to happen just as you and I did as well.
It's a gain of 10 for the Lions and a 1st down.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
On the ground, this is Johnson. He'll get about 3 as he's brought down right around the 42.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Well, a nice throw here right side. He hauls it in. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
Stafford throws complete to Galladay. And they'll get 8 out of this before being stopped at the 28.
Okay, buddy, I see you.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Throwing again on second down. Stafford complete to Jones. And this is going to turn into another first down as the tackle is made at the Vikings' 12-yard line. Solid catch there for a man who's been so brilliant this year. Worth pointing out, as we were talking about earlier, there has never in the 60-year history of the award been a pass catcher, tight end, or wide receiver that has taken home the MVP trophy.
And the best receivers I've talked with, they know that stat, and it drives them crazy because they understand that without a quarterback, they don't make the plays that they make. But they also don't feel like they get enough credit for bailing out some of the throws that quarterbacks make.
Absolutely. Takes 2 to tango. Now a first down throw. Stafford. He's got it. And he takes this one in for a Lions touchdown. Kenny Galladay, his 4th touchdown on the year, as his guys continue to put this one out of reach.
I heard a coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He said those could be the ones that can finish off a squad if you let them.
Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs. Now Prater to add the PAT. The Lions will use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. Prater on to add the extra point. And the lead will grow by 1 more. So an 8-play drive covering 80 yards. And the end result, a Detroit touchdown. So after the touchdown, Martin now on to kick this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And you see Dalvin Cook and the offense heading back out. They haven't been able to get him on track. They haven't been able to get this offense on track. No points so far.
Maybe it's time to start doing a few different things. Throwing the ball a little bit, maybe featuring other people touching it for a while, and then you get a chance to come back to it when things have changed a little bit. They have to make an adjustment.
There's still time for them here as we sit in the second quarter. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts as they stop it here with just under 40 ticks to go in this first half. On 1st and 10, Cousins. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Now the Vikings will use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. To throw is Cousins. It's hauled in by Dodson. And to the 49-yard line, but no further, and obviously he is well short of the first. The Lions now going to use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop the clock with 24 seconds to go in this first half. So out of bounds on the punt, and the spot will be, the side judge says, right at the 35-yard line here. There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. A good job in the passing game, decent job in the running game, but really they've been more effective through the air. We'll see if that shifts at all as this goes on.
Thus far, it feels like they're calling this game in reverse. Normally you run to set up the pass. Here it feels like they're passing, hoping to set up the run and be more effective later on in the game.
Yeah, you can do it both ways. We usually talk about it in the reverse, however.
No doubt about it.
And he's going to be brought down by the face mask. Here come the flags. This is going to get him a first down. So that flag will cost him 15.
And it doesn't matter anymore how you get the face mask. Any part of it, that's going to be 15 yards.
And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. Here's Stafford. This complete to Jones. That one goes for 30 yards. So with 4 seconds to go in the half, here's the field goal unit onto the field. A 33-yarder from the left hash. And the 12-year veteran knocks it right through, and that will do it for this first half. So we've reached halftime here in what is quickly turning into quite a rout. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, we'll get back to you and Charles in a bit. But first, let's get to some of these scores around the NFL here in a busy Week 14. We'll begin with a couple of the classic franchises in the NFL. Washington on the road, taking on Green Bay at Lambeau. And it's the Packers who have the lead in that one. Aaron Rodgers with 2 touchdown passes. From there, let's head over to New Era Field to see what's happening with the Bills. And at this point, they trail the visiting Baltimore Ravens. Lamar Jackson with 3 touchdown passes. Lastly, let's get to the Windy City. See what's happening with the Bears at home at Soldier Field. And they were winners in their ball game over the visiting Dallas Cowboys. Mitchell Trubisky strong in the victory as it pushes his guys back above the 500 mark on the year. In the game you're watching, it's Matthew Stafford who's had it working in the first half. He's thrown for over 200 yards already, and his guys have the lead as well. As we get you back to Brandon Gaudin.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. We remind you that coming up later tonight, Sunday Night Football. Seems like we've seen the Seahawks quite a bit in prime time the last few weeks, and we get them again tonight as they head down to L.A. to take on the Rams. And then tomorrow night for Monday Night Football, it's Giants-Eagles from Chile, Philadelphia. 11 yards there and a Lion first down. It's been a remarkable day at the office for him running the football. Those yards just continue to pile well past 100.
And how about more than double-digit carries in the second half alone? That's what you want as a runner because you've got to prove to your offensive line that you're going to be as tough as they are. They don't rotate in and out on every play. Running backs often do, so those who can stay out there with their offensive linemen, those are the guys they really value.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10.
It's going to be a long day. It's going to be a long day.
A first carry for the converted wideout, J.D. McKissick. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. They still need about the length of the football here, maybe a little less as they come up on 2nd and inches. Play action, Stafford. And that'll be incomplete. Good protection that time, and they couldn't hook up on the long one. Now it's 3rd down.
Well, the obvious goal is to try and score a touchdown, but at the least, adding to a pretty big yardage total for his intended receiver there, huh?
Yeah, well, when you got a guy over 150 yards, keep chucking it deep to him, I guess.
Yeah, no doubt about it. You can get it to him short, and he can make plays that way, but I like what you just said. Throw it to him deep and get it in a big chunk.
But incomplete on that try. Only a pickup of 2, but that's all they needed for the first.
Well, someone's been having a good game so far, and you know something? A lot of it's been power running. They decided to turn him loose again on 3rd down, didn't they?
They did indeed. He delivered the tough yards.
Mike 54.
Now Johnson. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11.
And that's where this defense is going to need to do more in the second half. Good pressure that time, forces some indecision in the backfield. He's going to wind up being taken down for a nice loss.
And the pressure gets to him. Brings him down. Stafford is sacked.
Sometimes I watch games and wonder why they use play fakes on certain passing situations because it's not going to fool anyone. I don't know if that was the case here, but the end result was the same. No one fooled. The quarterback was hit.
Throwing on 3rd and long. Stafford. They'll get this one to Galladay. He'll get 17 back there, but it'll still lead to a 4th down.
Boy, they had a lot of real estate to make up there, but what a big-time play for them. Nice completion, excellent gain. Now they're in 4th and manageable.
Just a little short, though, with that marker. He was called on 3 times in the win last week as his first one here's away. And a bit of a mistake there. This is well into the end zone for a touchback. It's the Vikings' turn on offense. We get ready for their first possession of the second half. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
On 2nd and 9, Cousins. That one into the hands of Thielen, complete. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. Give him 18 there and give the Vikings a first down. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Draw play, Cousins to Cook. And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. Trey Flowers there on the tackle.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
Going deep. That's caught inside the 20. Touchdown, Vikings. Stephon Diggs. His 4th touchdown on the year. And the Vikings are able to close the gap just a bit.
As a fan, is there anything prettier than a well-executed post route?
No, it's a thing of beauty, especially when it's done like that for a touchdown.
The throw, the catch, and how about the run after to get it to the end zone?
Just a 4-play drive that time, and it's polished off by a Viking score. This is taken at his 4. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. They're out in front. Last time they had to punt it away. We'll see if they can add to their lead now.
They don't want to go out and punt it away again. This team now wants to get a cushion, put people away. They want to run their offense and have it end up in the end zone.
Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete. Ball on the 30 as they come up 2nd and 10. To throw again. Stafford. Open man is Galladay, complete. 27 yards there, a first down.
No, we got the Rona, baby, yeah.
From Viking territory now, they'll come up 1st and 10 at the 42-yard line. Stafford going to give this one off to Johnson.
Does that mean nothing to you anymore? Things that I do to keep...
And he will force his way forward for a yard or two, but I have a good feeling this will be coming back. So on the big tight end, Holding.
Each and every year, we talk about very few tight ends coming into the league that are polished blockers or asked to do it a lot in college. So it's
I'm about to say, y'all ain't get the joint where y'all can call for it?
Learn how to do it without holding.
They run on first down as they get about 3. 2nd and 7 forthcoming. Tackle made by Everson Griffin. Again, it's Johnson. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. No gain on the play this time, and it'll be a 3rd and long situation coming up. An extra defender in the secondary for the Vikings here on 3rd down.
Coming in. Hey.
A shotgun snap for Stafford. He hits Jermaine Kearse. They wind up getting 16, but even that's not quite enough. It's 4th down.
So much about offense is what you call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to someone, they catch it, and then they can make a big play. You know, they create a play, run after catch. They did a really nice job there of limiting that and keeping him from a first down.
Yeah, stopped him in his tracks. So 3 field goals that he's hit.
What?
Now this last one helps him stretch out.
Where's their juice?
He's been solid, hasn't he? And he lives up to the adage that every offensive
Where?
coach has ever said to us. We
You
want
go
to
get
end
the
every
juice and bring it to me and show it to me. You can have some.
Right? For them, it's either
Where's their
extra point,
juice?
field goal, or at worst, a punt. In this case, it's been 3s.
Now it's Martin to do the honors after the made field goal. This is fielded at the chalk of the 10. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. I guess they have to feel a little gratified to at least get on the board last time, but still work to do.
No doubt about it. I wonder now if they're going to try to increase the urgency a little bit, maybe pump up the pace, maybe go 2 minute. Who knows? Let's see what they decide to do.
Now this one to his running back out of the backfield. And he's able to get this one up to his 30 before he's out of
ain't no
bounds.
fucking juice in there. I know it ain't no juice in there. Y'all little niggas can't keep juice around y'all.
And this will probably be the last play of the quarter. And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the 3rd quarter has come to a close. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. To throw again on 2nd down. Cousins. That'll be complete to Cook. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. They get 14 there. First down, Vikings.
As a passer, you're always trying to find that open window to throw the ball downfield. How about this one? Right in the middle of the field, right in the heart of a defense.
Throwing is Cousins.
Thank you.
And that is intercepted by the Pro Bowl corner, Darius Slay. And he will score. Touchdown, Lions.
I gotta play my eyes shut.
Now remember, this is the #1 defense in the National Football League. There's a good example of why.
Shows that they set an aggressive tone, not just stopping the run, not just getting after the quarterback, but if the ball's in the air,
That's crazy.
They treat it like they're the receivers, and they went after that one and took it all the way.
Now Prater to add the PAT. The Lions will use the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. Prater on to add the extra point. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. So the defense creating some points, not only getting the interception, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick 6. So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. And as this offense makes their way back out, it's AFC playoff race time as we give you a look. Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Here's Cook as they begin on the ground. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. From the gun, here's Cousins. And Diggs has it. And this will go as a gain of 7 as he gets it to the 30-yard line. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down. The Vikings on 3rd down. They're struggling. 0 for 6 thus far. This will be 3rd and 5. Open man is Thielen. It's complete. 20, 10, touchdown, Vikings. Adam Thielen. His 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Vikings are able to get a score back.
Well, I do have one word for that touchdown for you, partner. You ready?
Yeah.
Cosmetics.
Just makes things look a little better. I don't know. It's like putting lipstick on a pig.
Yeah, and it's hard to do, too. And the pig doesn't like the lipstick a heck of a lot, but you do like the fact that they're battling down the stretch, still trying to put something on the board, even though this game is over.
By the way, how rude is that to the pig? Look at all the things they give us. Pulled pork, bacon. Here's Bailey now for the extra point. And they make the score a little bit more respectable here in our final quarter of play. So a 75-yard scoring drive on just 3 plays. And it all culminates in a touchdown for Minnesota. This one fielded at the 5. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. And Detroit getting set to go now. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. You know, these guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. And that's always puzzled me a little bit.
Now a play fake and it's Stafford. And that's going to be incomplete. A lot of contact, no call, and it's 3rd down.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
It's caught. Jones. And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. How about 25 yards on third down? They'll take it. He's been the go-to guy. They needed a big play there on third down. Went his way. It worked out.
Doesn't matter whether they scouted it or that they think he's going to get the ball. He has a knack for finding his way open and completing the connection.
And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. First down Lions on a pickup of 13.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
They try to run on first down, but this defense says no dice. They stop him a couple yards behind the line of scrimmage. Calling a loss of 2 on the play. And that'll make it 2nd and 12. A rare misstep on that last play because the drive has been strong, but now it's 2nd and 12. They'll fake it. Now Stafford. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Stephen Weatherly able to record his 5th sack of the season.
Enough takes a start to have a good drive. Quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
Now they're looking at a 3rd and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
After the sack, Stafford and the Lions come up on a 3rd and long situation. Out of the gun, Stafford. That'll be taken in by Demir Bird. And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. They'll get 19 out of this, but it will still bring up a 4th down. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Lions in possession of the football as we welcome you back. They've got a 4th down here in a game that looks to have been decided already. Prater's kick is good. And that will just add 3 more to a lead that's already out of hand. So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the 4th.
And you know in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
Now it's Martin to do the honors after the made field goal. This is fielded at the chalk of the 10. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. Now this offensive unit ready to see what they can do here. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches,
be honest.
Don't forget today. Don't forget what has happened out here.
Yeah, use that as ammo going forward.
Exactly. Take a great look at that scoreboard. Realize how poorly everything went for us today. Coaching, playing, the whole deal. And never forget it, because
you're not going to want that feeling again.
No, you don't want that feeling again. And who knows? You may meet up with this team again.
So now they'll come up on 2nd and 10, once again from the 28. Cousins. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on 3rd down. Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Working out of the gun, Cousins. And he's able to find Diggs. And he'll be tackled right on the chalk of the 45. If you're going to blitz, likely going to leave you in man coverage with this guy, and that is less than ideal.
It is, because just about any offense that has an elite receiver, if you blitz and have him in man coverage, you're going to him, even if he has an elite defender on him, because he usually knows where the ball is before the defender does.
First down, here's Cousins. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down. So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Again, it's Cousins. And he's got the hook up here. It's Kyle Rudolph. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30.
can get you out of this place where you don't belong. You should know.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. To the air again, it's Cousins. And this is Cook with a grab. And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down. 17 yards, 1st down, Vikings. It's complete to Diggs. He's down inside the 10 to the 8. And it comes on a gain of 8.
Good throw, good catch, but I really like the route. The drag and being able to run away from defenders, hard to stick with them for that long.
Yeah, better against man than zone, or
better against man, because now you're running away from someone and you're not running into a defensive player in another zone.
Well, he caught it right at the line of scrimmage, and before he could even think about advancing it forward, he got hit.
Great tackling, because that's what you're taught. Don't give up yards after the catch.
And that is caught. Well, they're going to see this one to the end. They get a score, but pretty much an exercise in futility right now. Still down big.
And yeah, that touchdown counts for their team, but I think it counts more for the fantasy guys, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's just something maybe positive to look at on film, but this one's over, let's be honest.
Yeah, I agree with you totally on that one.
Bailey got the extra point, and that trims the lead a bit, but still standing at 26 points. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And 3 timeouts remaining here defensively, but really not much reason to use them at this point, as this one is all but over.
If they use the timeouts here, it's strictly for show. We got a plane to catch.
It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feel like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for Detroit, the win pushes their record now to 11-2 on the year. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for Minnesota, they drop their 11th game now on the year. And they will try to get back in the swing of things next week on the road. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Alongside Charles Davis, we thank our entire crew. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This is the NFL on EA Sports.
Still secured if I just want to. I'm just trying to help him.
Off that game.
So I can get out of this cow shit and wear real shoes again. Now I assume you discuss this with your siblings. Because I will. You have no way of getting it back now. It's all over.
Welcome in, everybody. It's the coach. This is Madden 20 on EA Sports. Coming up, we'll see the fifth-year quarterback, Jameis Winston, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. as they take on the 11-year man Matthew Stafford and the Detroit Lions. I'll be back with you again with scores around the league at halftime. But kickoff right around the corner. And standing by to call the action, here are Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
Okay, Coach, coming to you from the venue that hosted the Super Bowl back in February of '06. Welcome to Ford Field in downtown Detroit. Both teams emerging from the Ford Field tunnels just a short time ago. And, of course, the loudest cheers were reserved for the hometown Lions. They're set to go as they will match up with Jameis Winston and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Along with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And, Charles, we look at this Lions team entering play. Their long winning streak finally came to an end last week. A disappointing game for them, but still a heck of a run.
Indeed it was. What a great job by them putting together a streak. Now let's see how they rebound after a defeat.
On the other side of the field for the visiting Bucs, they too were winners last time out, so something's got to give here.
And I love it when both teams come in off of wins. Great mindsets, and it usually leads to a really well-played game.
It's the final 3 weeks of the season. Still plenty to play for here as we're underway in Week 15. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Buccaneers set to take over. Jameis Winston at the controls. And it's a big season forthcoming for the #1 overall pick back in 2015. If you look at the numbers, just 21-33 as a starter during his tenure. But the hope now is that renowned quarterback whisperer Bruce Arians can breathe some new life into him in 2019. Jameis now on first down. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's second down. And we get a glance now at the Buccaneer offense.
Mike Evans is exactly what you're looking for in a receiver in today's NFL. Big, quick, can flat-out run, but makes great adjustments when the ball is in the air. Ranked number 3 last year in receiving yards, 1,000 yards receiving every year he's been in the league.
Going on the ground with Eckler. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. He lost 2 there, and it's third down. It's probably a pretty good sign here on the opening drive if your guys from the secondary are coming up and spilling things in the backfield.
How about the adrenaline and aggressiveness that led his eyes to the backfield to run up there and make that tackle, setting a tone early for his defense.
That's complete to his receiver, Godwin. And this effort will not get it done. He stopped well short of the first down at the 29. The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up 4th.
Chris Godwin, the former Penn Stater, should see an increase in action and production in 2019 with Adam Humphries and Deshaun Jackson gone from the team. 842 yards in 2018, second only to Mike Evans on the Buccaneers.
On the return, here's Agnew. That's going to go in the books as a 55-yard punt. Well done. And the Lions will take over. So here are the Lions under second-year coach Matt Patricia. They'll be led out by a former Pro Bowl quarterback out of the University of Georgia, Matthew Stafford.
Matthew Stafford is a big-arm guy who's learned how to temper some of his throws. Actually has added a lot more touch and accuracy as his career has gone along. Big-time confidence in his arm, though. Any throw you want, he can make it.
Stafford and the Lions now have it 1st and 10 at their own 22. Here's Ty Johnson, rookie 6th-rounder from Maryland. And he'll get about 3 as he takes this up near the 25.
Get nowhere.
And we look now at the Lions offense.
Tight end Jesse James has made the move from Pittsburgh, where he spent his first 4 NFL seasons. Now he's going to reside in Detroit. A big target is 6'7", a terrific run blocker, has a great chance to beat his career high in receptions of 43 in 2017, and the Lions pass-first offense.
Johnson running right. They find some open field here. Through an opening, and there he goes. Touchdown, Detroit. Ty Johnson, his 11th touchdown of the year. as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter.
Brandon, my man, just one sentence for that one. Clinic.
And that's what they've done. They lead the league in points per game this season, but it's been quick strike ability as we saw on that drive.
I think they're actually intimidating defenses because they're back on their heels right away, wondering where it's going to come from, how they're going to hit them. This group is well organized, well coached, and extremely confident in what they do.
Here's Martin now following the score as he'll send this one away. This is fielded at the chalk of the 10. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. Now the Buccaneer offense set to take over again. And the last drive, their first drive, 3 and out. What changes here, if anything?
I think it's making sure the guys that you trust the most with the ball, the biggest playmakers you have, that they touch it on this possession.
What are y'all doing?
So get it to the horses.
Without a doubt, they're the ones that typically end up in the end zone.
And now the Lions defensive starters.
As the Detroit Lions continue to rebuild their defense, they were so excited about the opportunity to acquire defensive end Trey Flowers from New England, who always put on big performances in the playoffs and in Super Bowls. And now the Lions looking forward to seeing that game in and game out. 7.5 sacks is his career high. They'd love to see that number get to double digits.
From the 31, Winston looking for Godwin, and he's got him complete. And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. It's a gain of 16, first down Tampa Bay. On first and 10, Winston looking downfield for Godwin. And that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's second down. So now second and 10 after the incompletion on first down. On second down, Eckler. And he's going to get it across the midfield stripe into Lion territory.
All right, Brandon, I know we're in the early going here, but those kind of runs, they're going to open up a world of opportunities for this offense going forward.
Play action now, Winston. And they get the football. They'll set up shop at their own 49-yard line.
Well, if you go by the numbers, you'll find as the temperature goes down, so does the passing efficiency. And now that we're in December, even the routine throws are going to be harder for the quarterbacks. And this one, it winds up getting picked off.
Good starting field position for them here as they come up first and 10, just shy of midfield at the 49. First down Lions on a pickup of 13. He was well over 100 yards last week. He told us this week, a little ambitious, said he wants to hit that 200 mark. We'll see.
Makes sense, though, doesn't it? Have we ever run into a running back that had a great game the week before that didn't think that's just going to naturally continue? Just make sure you feed me the football.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. JPP cruising in for the sack that time. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe
and the pressure gets to him again. Levante David in there to drop him, and sacks on first and second downs. Now leads to a third and long. After the sack, Stafford and the Lions come up on a third and long situation. From the gun, here's Stafford. And that will be incomplete. So it doesn't look like they're going to be able to build off the turnover.
Well, the defense certainly did its part. It got them the football. But you're exactly right. It looks like they're going to have to punt this one away. And it's not a turnover, but doesn't it feel like one after grabbing the momentum with the defensive play?
Yeah, and they had all that momentum after getting the football, and now zapped right back in the other direction. And no return here. This one's going inside the 15 to the 12-yard line. And Tampa Bay trots out there now. And this is a unit that, to be frank, doesn't look like they've woken up yet. I mean, a punt and a turnover on their first two drives.
And I think the game's starting to take shape a little bit now. And I'm going to take it into the basketball world. When you're having trouble scoring or moving the ball in basketball, what do? Get it to their best player, right? Find a matchup, create it, exploit it, and try and move the football.
The numbers for him from a week ago: 24 carries, 66 yards.
And I'm eager to see how they deploy him in this game. Last week, a heavy workload. Do they decide to bring that down a little bit and try and keep him fresh? Or do they say, guess what? He's locked in. Keep handing him the football.
Check it back. Check it back.
Now some movement before the snap. And we'll hear from our referee for the first time this afternoon. So that'll bump it back to a 1st and 15. A false start backs him up 5. 1st and 15. Out of the gun, Eckler running it. He'll get 3 of those penalty yards back here, leaving him with a 2nd and 12. On 2nd and 12, Winston. That's caught by the big tight end, O.J. Howard. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down.
And with the Buccaneers' new coaching staff, you have to figure they're going to want to use O.J. Howard a little bit more this season. 34 catches, 565 yards last year, but that was in only 10 games. 6'6", 251, and can run. Find a way to get him the ball as they just did there.
Maybe anticipating a blitz, and they jumped.
Yeah, and if we saw it, you know that they saw it. The bad guys might have been coming on that play. Had to pick them up, and they jumped.
And this offense back to needing 10 yards after the false. And Winston lost the football. And this is scooped up by the Lions. And they will set up shop, red zone territory at the 13-yard line. Of course, they had the option, and they choose to not take the penalty.
They like the results of the play that they just ran, and they elect to let them stand.
Johnson on the counter. And that'll hurt the average a bit, as this time they're able to get him behind the line. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up 2nd down. A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. From the gun, Stafford. And he has his receiver. That's Jones. Lions touchdown. Marvin Jones with his 16th touchdown of the year. And the Lions are able to extend their lead. Prater for the extra point. And that'll make the score 14-0. They had the short field, and they made quick work of it. Just 2 plays to get into the end zone. So after the touchdown, Martin now on to kick this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. 6 yards on the pickup, and that'll bring us to the end of the first quarter.
Double
14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. They'll try to pick up the first with Eckler. And he's going to be stopped short of a first down as they'll get to him at about the 33. Just a 1-yard gain on the play, and that'll mean a call to the punt team as it's 4th down.
Now, that was a big-time play by the defense. They as well knew where the first down line was, and they didn't let them get anywhere near it.
The punt team on now as Pinion sends this one away. That's fielded at the 8-yard line. Well, he wasn't too far from breaking that. Officially, give him 15. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Coming up later tonight, Sunday Night Football, a good one in SoCal. The Vikings and the Chargers from Dignity Health Sports Park. Coverage at 8:20 Eastern, 5:20 Pacific on EA Sports.
Check 13. Check 13. Slam, slam, slam. 32. Hey, check 24. Watch
Off of play action. Here's Stafford. Looking downfield for Jones. Oh, incomplete. The rookie had it and lost it there. And it'll be second down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You have to think on early downs like that, first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
Takes this to the 27. Give him 4 yards.
That second down play call was not to pick up the first down. It was to accomplish what they did, to get them into a manageable third down, because they had incompletion on first down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
Throwing on third down, Stafford. That's incomplete, but there is a flag down, so hang on. A big call coming on third down. So instead of giving them another third down, they'll decline it, brings up 4.
Now that's smart football right there. You don't even have to really spend a lot of time considering it. Just know that you're probably going to get the ball back. Good job declining that penalty.
12 yards on the return that time, and the Bucs will get ready to go on offense. A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. He's had a good chunk of carries. Problem is for very little success. I don't want to put it all on his shoulders, but that's a big reason they're losing right now.
Nah, you got stamina in that shit
He
too.
doesn't start pointing fingers. Offensive line obviously trying. The defense is doing a nice job against him today. When it's all said and done, it's all about the guy in the mirror. He has to get it done better going forward.
See if he can look and do some soul searching now. They're throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. Here is Eckler. 1 yard, the official pickup there, so it's going to set up 3rd and 9. The Bucs on third down. Not good. 0 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 9. Throwing. Winston. And that is intercepted by the Pro Bowl corner Darius Slay. And he returns it into enemy territory down to the 45-yard line. Week after week, we're seeing plays like this from him, and I think he's in line. We've discussed it before for NFL Defensive Player of the Year.
And a big reason why, I think, is because of his ball skills. And that's something that, for guys of his position, they've talked about it for years. They've done the drills. But they've really increased it in recent seasons because of the offense have gotten so good. He knows how to take the ball away. That is huge for a defender.
Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7. 3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Back to throw. Stafford. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there, trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down. And they'll need to get to the 35 if they want to keep this drive going on 3rd down. Stafford down to throw. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And he's going to be about a yard or 2 short of the first here. He needed the 35, but didn't make it.
They dialed up the screen pass on 3rd down, and for a second, it looked like it was all going to come together, and they had a chance to pick up a first down, but the defense got there and finished it off.
And this one looks good. It is good. Right down the pipe, and the lead will grow. It's now 17-0. They got the interception, but very little movement after, and that forces him to settle for 3. And it does feel like settling when that happens, doesn't it?
It certainly does, but we got to give a lot of credit where it's due, and that's to the defense because they ran onto the field. This is what we call sudden change, right? Interception, you've got to go put out the fire, and they did, holding them to a field goal.
Now it's Martin to do the honors after the made field goal. This is taken just shy of the 10 here. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Jameis Winston and the rest of the Bucs set to begin this next drive. He and his team, they have had a rough go of it here in this first half. Maybe time for him to put his foot down here in the second quarter.
Put his foot down and become a little more accurate throwing the football. He's already thrown 2 interceptions. He's trying to find a way to equal things out. And instead of it going to the opponents, get it to his own receivers and find the end zone.
Yeah, you mentioned those 2 picks. No touchdown passes yet either. They throw right away, and that's complete out on the right side. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. They'll run out of the gun with Eckler. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play. And they're going to face a 3rd down.
Let's get off the field, D. Let's get off the field.
Winston from the gun on 3rd down. And unable to connect. Incomplete. Well, give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down. Those passes out that far wide always make you hold your breath a little bit. Felt like it was in the air for a while.
What it does is allows a defender to gain some ground, come from a long distance, and have a chance to affect the pass.
Let's go. Let's do this.
Getting set to go again as we look at the back, heading onto the field again. He's in his own 2nd quarter, already closing in on a 100-yard game.
And that's the magic number for a running back. Anytime you get to that triple digits, that's all you're looking for. But he's got a chance to really exceed that in this one.
Yeah, he does. That's been the gold standard for a long time, hasn't it, that 100-yard mark?
It really has, and that never has to shift because it's in a game. It's a 1,000-yard mark. I'm wondering, since we've gone from 12 to 14 to 16 games, maybe we need to up that a little.
He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and all of a sudden here, it's 3rd down. The Lions on 3rd down, 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This is 3rd and 9. Play action, Stafford. And he'll find Galladay. That's complete. A pickup of 24 on the 3rd down conversion. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on 3rd down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a 1st down.
Now a 1st down throw. Stafford. He'll get this one to Galladay. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. 11 yards there and a Lion 1st down. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. A shotgun snap for Stafford. He'll get this into the hands of Bird. A good pickup there, 26 yards. From the red zone now, Stafford. And he's not able to get away. Sacked back at the 22. Jason Pierre-Paul able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon. Sacks a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. Stafford. And this is caught by Curse. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. Jermaine Curse. His 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Lions are able to extend their lead.
You know, in golf, they often talk about playing the course and not worrying about what the other players are doing, what their scores are. That's essentially what we're seeing from this offense. They're just having fun and doing what they feel like doing today.
Now Prater to add the PAT. And the lead is now 24. Here's Martin now following the score as he'll send this one away. This is fielded at the chalk of the 10. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. Now, I'm not going to say you completely abandon the passing game, but it would really behoove them to get this running game going more.
That's it.
That is intercepted by the Pro Bowl corner, Darius Slay. And it's a tremendous return as they finally get him at about the 10-yard line.
You're trailing. You're trying to get points late in the half. I absolutely understand that. But remember, it's all about the ball. And without the ball, you can't get those points. They just turned it over.
Now you got to be careful because that deficit can get a little bigger on the other side with that good field position they just took over with. And they'll be driven back here, losing yardage to the 10-yard line. It'll be a loss of 1, and that'll make it 2nd and goal.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any of...
And he takes this one in for a Lions touchdown. Make that now 3 first-half touchdown passes for Matthew Stafford as his guys continue to pour it on. And on this play, he just made a great route. The quarterback had to deliver it, sure, but a great route run there.
And, Brandon, this is what the best receivers do. They work on their route running because it's one thing to have athletic ability, but to really get open, you have to set up defensive backs with different routes and be precise in your cuts.
Extra point good by Prater. And the route is on here in this first half. Well, that drive started with not a whole lot of real estate in front of them. In plus territory, excellent field position. 2 plays later, pay dirt.
He needs some milk.
So after the touchdown, Martin now on to kick this one away. This is fielded at the chalk of the 10. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. Time here for likely 1 play, then off to the locker room, and they're going to have some adjustments to make.
They certainly will, and I think a lot of people are thinking to themselves, all right, take the knee, get out of here, regroup. But how will the head coach and his staff approach halftime? Will it be angry? Will it be clinical? Will they be calm? Will they just let it all out? Who knows? I'd love to be a fly on the wall for this one, though.
Okay, Brandon, time for a sprint to the finish, as it's time to get you caught up with what's happening around the NFL here in a pivotal Week 15. We'll begin with the oldest rivalry in the NFL, dating all the way back to 1921. Green Bay hosting Chicago. And it's the Packers who have the lead as that game approaches halftime. Marquez Valdez-Scantling, a touchdown reception.
Obviously you don't, Mike.
From there, we'll head to Washington. Check out the Redskins at home at FedEx Field. And they currently trail the visiting Philadelphia Eagles. Carson Wentz has thrown a couple of touchdown passes there. Lastly, let's get you to Charlotte, North Carolina. Check on the Panthers at home at Bank of America Stadium. And you can see they have the lead over the visiting Seahawks. Cam Newton with a couple of touchdown passes there. In the game you're watching, it's Matthew Stafford who's had it working in the first half. His 3 touchdown passes have his guys out in front. As we hand things back over to Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
The Lions in the lead, and they're going to get the football first as well as the second half is underway.
Like I said, when your moms get here, you can get off of that. Okay.
This one fielded at the 5. And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line.
Fuck you guys talking about my mic.
The Lions offense now with a football first here to begin quarter number 3. What we do know, Charles, they will be in the playoffs. They currently sit at pole position number 1, but nothing's set in stone right now. They still have to earn that top spot.
And it makes me reflect back to preseason when you and I do our tours of camps. The prevailing message in each and every one of them was what? Win the division.
Win the division.
Win the division. You know you're in the playoffs. It means something. It means a home game. It means a number of other things, but winning the division is paramount. You're right. They won't step off the gas here.
And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2.
Yeah, another good run there. He's been such a big part of their success here this afternoon. And that last carry, it puts him over 100 yards now for the day.
From the 35 on 2nd down, Stafford caught by Jones. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. They go play action here on 1st down. Open man is Galladay, complete. And he gets it all the way down inside the 10 and mark him at the 5. 36 yards on the play. Well, make that now 2 completions for him on this drive, and these aren't ordinary completions. They're big ones.
Yeah, these are the types that make a secondary talk to each other and not in a good way. Oftentimes pointing fingers. Hey, who's got him? Someone cover him. That type of indecision can open up to even more big plays.
And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. So this will be accepted as it moves the offense backwards. Here's another 1st and goal, but from a little further back this time following the penalty. Johnson. And they get to him quickly here as he stopped right around the 13. Tackle made by Justin Evans. Still a ways from the end zone as they come up now on 2nd and goal.
Just like that. Watch twist, watch. Hey, red. Twist. Watch the safety cream.
Now a play fake and it's Stafford.
I put
Under a
y'all in
heavy
double
rush and
team.
down he goes. Jason Pierre-Paul able to record his 5th sack of the season.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Now Stafford on 3rd and goal. And he has his receiver. That's Jones. Lions touchdown. 4th touchdown pass of the game for Matthew Stafford as his guys continue to put this one out of reach.
In order to lead in a game, you're going to get plenty of contributors, but that's his 2nd touchdown catch of this game. He's one of the key guys in this one.
And you better believe he'll be looking for the hat trick here as this one continues to go. Prater for the extra point, and that will extend this big lead. Here's Martin now following the score as he'll send this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here comes the Buccaneers offense. They get their first reps of the 2nd half. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned, because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve. And there just continues to be nowhere to run. He's bottled up again at the line of scrimmage. Once more, here's Eckler. And he's going to have the first down yardage to the 35. It's a first down following a gain of 3. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Working out of the gun, Winston. Throw right side, taken in by Godwin. And able to...
Where the hell are you going? Cut it out! Fuck is our problem?
Get this one across the 45 before he's brought down.
But it appears that they read man defense and went to the out route, and what you have to do on that one is the receiver's got to make sure he works the defender towards the middle of the field to give himself space to cut to the outside and have that ball delivered with good timing, and they got it done.
That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on first down. Really good defensive effort. They were all over that little swing pass out to the right side before lost yardage.
Terrific read, better execution, and done with a lot of enthusiasm, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
They saw it all the way, ran to the football, and caused a nice play for lost yardage.
Throwing again on second down, but this time it's incomplete. We have not seen a whole lot of wide-open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other's moves all game long, and they've been on the spot.
Rashad Perriman off to the races. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Rashad Perriman with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Bucs are able to get a score back. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky Country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
Matt Gay on for the extra point. So they get one score back, but still a long ways to go here in this third quarter. So the drive winds up going 75 yards in 7 plays. And it ends with a touchdown for the Bucs. And following the touchdown now, it's Bradley Pinion on to kick this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line.
That's his work.
He said they haven't been online, so of course they did. God damn. Who threw our fucking melon the whole way on the floor? I said they threw the whole way on the floor.
Somebody might have came and put it inside in the hallway. Mailman probably put it in there in the hallway.
Probably trying to support shit. Lawrence don't be here no more.
Presented by NextCare brand
No bad.
products.
I had an iced tea and shit.
No.
Shit got washed. My motherfucking Hershey cookies and cream crunch roll.
I'm about to say you got like 2 of them shits in the kitchen.
And I know. For some reason, I always buy them and never eat them. Shut up, baby. Yeah.
The roaring 20s, personified by a flashing beat of a line of flappers executing the task. The speed of that autopilot guy, forget your footing.
The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive. As they score here, especially a touchdown, it's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, in fact, you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
Still third quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they? Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out. But a running game can really benefit your team right now.
In the box with an extra defender in the secondary now on third down.
Out
Out of the gun, Stafford. And that'll be incomplete. We do have a penalty flag down, however. Let's see what that's about. This home crowd, they're happy with that call.
I like the way you said happy there, right? The so-called good guys didn't get a call. They feel like it's been that way all afternoon. You feeling their pain?
They finally got one.
Yes, they did.
Following the penalty, it's Johnson. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. It'll be a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd and 11.
Well, Brandon, he's had a great day, but sometimes the other guys make a play against you. What's that expression they like to use in the NFL? Those guys get paid too, you know.
Yeah, in college they say, hey, they're on scholarship too. In the NFL, they're getting paid too. With the day he's had, you can have one go in the wrong direction. They'll fake the give. Now Stafford. Looking downfield for Jones. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
That's what that yellow shit is?
First-round pick Vernon Hargraves.
I thought that was
the
cheese.
one who was there defensively.
Yeah.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down.
Undercrunch, undercrunch, undercrunch. Alert 3, alert 3.
fake it. Now Stafford. Oh, a hit. He lost the football. Stafford puts it on the ground. Here's Sam Martin now as he's on to punt for Detroit. We're off to the fourth quarter here in Week 15. Happy holidays to all. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. Here's Sam Martin now as he's on to punt for Detroit. Averaging 50 yards a boot so far as this one's away. And a nice job here on special teams. This will be down inside the 10 at the 8-yard line. And for an offense that is struggling, this is not where you want to start from. Great punt.
Fantastic punt. And for all those who wonder, what do punters do during the course of practice each and every day? The best ones do what we just saw there. Work on positioning the football and helping their team.
Just north of St. Louis, is considered by many to be one of the most haunted towns in America. And at the center of all the paranormal activity here is an extraordinary home, the Big Pipe Mansion.
The Lions will use the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting...
And he's taken down. Back at his own 7. Devon Kennard in there for the sack. And he's closing in on the all-time record. That's number 19 on the year. The sack cost him only a yard. It's 2nd and 11. Now Winston. Looking left side, and he's got a man. It's Hudson. It's a gain of 11, and the Bucs have a first down.
I got a kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations, but a guy of his size can't really hide him. But the tight end drag route, definitely an effective way to sneak him across the formation for an easy completion and a first down.
Just nothing there again. He's been sacked multiple times. We've seen the interceptions, of course. He's really been through the ringer, hasn't he?
And what we've seen is a defense that's well coordinated. The front and the back really in sync. The front putting on the pressure, the backside being ball hawks and picking passes off.
The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
He's got Evans. 60 catches for him now on the year. This last one, a first down.
I don't care how many times we see it. I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. First down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation.
A gain of 6 there on first.
Nothing fancy on first down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, you often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for second down, staying ahead of schedule. Trying to defend the out route there, got the PI call.
And you know what's difficult about that one is sometimes you want to make the undercut move and go for the football, and other times you just want to hang on the upfield shoulder and make the tackle. I think he got caught in between and created a foul.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete. Another pass attempt, another incompletion, and they're just a little over 100 yards passing here in this game. So